All right, welcome to our new global media talk show. Today is July 13, 2025. Today we're gonna be looking at the rejection of the 2024 draft constitution and then the way forward. As we all observe, the 2024 constitution has just been rejected by the National Assembly for the same reason the 2020 constitution was rejected. Basically, we all know, like the parliamentarians didn't come to terms. Everybody is looking out for something, and again, this is gonna be, looked in a broader perspective by council Darbo, who is going to be joining us shortly. But before that, my panelists here, Sam Ceesay and Ousman, we will just jump right in and I give our sense on this draft constitution that just failed to pass. Welcome to the show, Sam Ceesay from Indiana. Sam, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep, Mr. Sawaneh. Well, I'll start briefly until the expert gets here because the ones on the ground, especially Council Darbo, will be the expert, the subject matter expert in this. But it did not doubt me at all. In fact, this morning I released some WhatsApp audios this morning that you may not have had a chance to listen to them yet. In that audio, I referred to my previous audios that I released on January 19, 2025. In those audios, I said that it will surprise me. And I said, most likely, the 2024 draft constitution will be rejected. It's not going to pass. I predicted that in January that it's not going to pass because you know why? It's full of things that are not good for our country. Is full of bad laws that only are there to surround and protect certain individuals, not the country. When you make a constitution and you make laws, and that constitution should be something that they should be laws that should protect all Gambians equally. Basically, not necessarily equally, but something that is best for the country, not necessarily good for the president and his team, but should be for everybody. So I think there are a lot of them that will change, and from the 2020 CRC recommendations. As a result, I predicted it's going to be rejected. But Council Darboy is coming in, so I'll let him take it from here. He's the subject matter expert here. Since we are live now, Council Darboy, we're talking about the draft constitution that was the 2024 draft constitution that was rejected. Can you take us through in that and what you know and what you can tell us, please?
Yeah. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Council, you have the floor. Thank you. Yeah. Council Dabo, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah.
Looks like network has been a problem for him from wherever he is. His network is not very stable.
Yeah, it's
Is he also in Katong or somewhere else?
he lives at Gunjur actually. He's our neighbor. It's a neighboring community not far from Katong.
Oh, okay.
I don't know which network is. They are my uncles. So my mother hailed from there. So I don't like to talk much about them. But I wanted to say, I don't know which connection is he using. Because my mother is from the Davos, so that's why I'm very careful about the Davos as well. But in any case, the subject matter is of interest to the Gambian people, and it is of an interest to the international communities as well. Not once, not twice. We have debated about this particular bill. In 2020, it was rejected, best known to them, based on political lines, that the presidential part, which of course is included in the
No, he's also
It's
is
also frozen.
also broken.
It's also
Probably
frozen,
is,
right? Let's blame it
yeah.
on let's blame it on the government, man.
It's the network. Yeah. The government. We can't blame everything on the government.
Let's blame it on the government, man. Government, like they don't have any way of giving us an internet stabilized internet service every time
Well,
internet.
they could do that if they take my recommendations. I said empower Gumtel Gamcell, invest in them, let them get the most recent technology or most up to date technology to be able to supply internet in the whole country. You know, but
Yeah, but
instead,
see, Sam, it's easier said than done. I mean, like you can tell
well,
them that, but the problem is the know-how and the money. Everybody,
you have to look at it this way. During President Jawara's time, Gamtel was the best, or one of the best in the sub-region. If we can do that in the early, in the 80s, coming to up to 1994, I mean, why can't we do it now? Today, there's a better technology than before. All it takes is invest, have the right people. Yes, you have to have the right people that know how and put them in place, give them the funds to be able to operate, get up to the most up to date technology, and they should be able to operate. And in fact, they could be very, if they know how to do it, they could be very profitable actually in the Gambia, because they can, you know, require all government institutions to have the same internet and all of that stuff, and many, many, many more. So, but anyway, so yeah, today
yeah,
network is a problem.
yeah.
Looks like our guest,
Usman is on.
yeah, Usman is back.
Yeah. So let's before we get
Yeah.
cancelled, because I don't know if cancel would be connecting, but if not, we can also do the WhatsApp version of it. I will just contact him to, if he has trouble, then we can just do audio version of it. That might also work.
Okay. No problem. Just check it up again. Let's see whether we'll have him back again.
Yeah, yeah,
Once we have him, then we can confirm that from him. Okay, he's trying to connect once again. I think we'll have him once again and see. Yes, hello, Council Darbo. Council, how are you?
Hello.
Very well. Council, we can hear you
Hello,
now.
sir.
Yes, thank
Hello.
you. Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, please.
Alhamdulillah. I'm fine.
All right. We just want to confirm if you are struggling with connection at where you are at the moment, then we can suggest like an audio version of WhatsApp. I think that's what Mr. Sawaneh is trying to suggest, because your network is
Hello.
fluctuating. There we go. I think it's Mr. Sawaneh, we are struggling with console.
hello, Council Dabo.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear us? Hello. Okay. Usman,
Now,
Sam. Let me do that. Let me try to connect to him through audio, and we see if that will work. He can even mute his face can be on there, but he just mute so people can see him. He's just gonna have to mute. I will tell him to mute his audio and see if he can take a call. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan, right?
Yep, sounds like a plan.
Okay. Let me add him. 1 second. I think that will be better, because the most important thing here is he gave us his insight about what's going on with this
Yeah,
constitution,
yeah. If he
because
gets on audio, if you can get him on audio, WhatsApp, and put the volume to the loudest and put it by your computer or speaker as well, so that whatever he says, we can hear all of it as well. Yeah,
yeah. That is the
that'd be great.
Yeah, because Gunjur, I have a feeling that Gunjur area, because of the location.
Yeah, usually when you go outside, it's not just there. When you go outside of Serakunda area, for the most part,
Katong and
and
Gunjur and
signal
all
becomes
those.
Nah,
different.
I refuse to accept that. I don't just understand my uncles because here the connection is pretty good, except I think I was hindered by the local calls that came in. I think that's the reason why I had a breakdown in the network. But we are fine from our end in Khartoum. So the Gunjurians will explain better why the network is fluctuating there.
Yeah, because the reason why I say that is the the coastal influence there
Mhm.
could be an issue. Yeah,
That's why. Mhm.
yeah. So I'm calling him on WhatsApp. Let's see if that works.
Is joining again.
Yeah, hello. Okay, cancel. Yeah, cancel. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, cancel. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna try the WhatsApp version of this so that people can hear you because it looks like we are struggling
Yes,
with.
I can hear you.
Okay, so we're gonna do.
Uh,
Yeah, Sam and you guys can hear him, right?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so we're gonna do the WhatsApp version instead of connecting through the system. Okay, is that okay with you? That one will also hung up. So it gotta be if WhatsApp cannot work, then
Well, it's
maybe
the same network. It's the same network because the WhatsApp also has to be on the internet. So it's the same internet that's having the problem there. So
so
Yeah, no, no. I think we are try him again on WhatsApp. Normally, the video connection is much more stronger than the WhatsApp. So try him again and let's see what happens, please.
yeah. Hello, yeah. Lamin, cancel Adabo.
yes.
We will have you on WhatsApp and do it in that way. How about that?
on the phone.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, because it looks like audio. So we're gonna go right ahead because we are live. So cancel. We will let you introduce yourself, and then we dive into the rejected constitution. What had happened? Why? I mean, was it a good idea for the constitution for the 2024 constitution to be rejected by the parliament, or was it something that should not have taken place because of what and what? So we can dive into it and lead us through. Okay.
Record, please. Assume, please. Thank you very much. I'll do that.
Okay. You're welcome. So you have the floor.
Okay. My name is Lamin J. Darbo from Gunjur, Kombasa, West Coast region. I started my education, as all of us, in our home communities. And then I went to St. Augustine's High School from 1974 to 1979, the Gambia High School sixth form from 1979 to 1981. And I worked in the Gambia for about 10 years at the Gambia Radio and Television Services. Then it was just Radio Gambia under the Ministry of Information. Yes, I went to the Standard Bank in 1981 and worked at Actionaid the Gambia from 1986 to 1989 when I left for the United States, where I got my first degree in history and my doctorate degree in law, in jurisprudence. I came back and worked as a magistrate and work in judicial administration in the Gambia as deputy to the permanent secretary, judicial secretary they would call her at the time, and even now. From May of 1998, yes, to October of 1998, and I became a magistrate in October 1998. And yes, because I wanted to practice as a private lawyer, I had to do my bar. I obtained my qualification in the US. So I wanted to go to Sierra Leone, obviously, but that did not materialize. So I went to the UK and studied and lived there from 1999, April 1999 to 2015, when I returned to the Gambia. Yes, so right now I'm practicing as a private lawyer. So basically, that is the abridged introduction.
Very good, very good. That's a very long and impressive resume. I hope that will be an inspiration for many Gambians who wants to build such a career. So thank you so much for all your service for the Gambia and elsewhere. Now we're just gonna go dive into the draft constitution. I know the 2022 constitution, so 2020 constitution was vastly supported by the Gambian populace. The CRRC went all over and get the input of Gambians to make sure that we have something that will best serve the interests of the Gambian people. The 2024, on the other hand, was done by the borough and borough's government and some stakeholders, and again, most people's input were excluded, and as a result, it failed in the parliament. So we want to go in depth. What is the nature of the things on the ground? What had happened, and then also what do you know as a lawyer between the two and the differences, and also considering the 1997 constitution too, which actually we thought we all are saying that that doesn't actually applied across the board when it comes to Gambian interests. So I'll give you the floor to start to walk us through.
Well, that's a huge chunk of material that you want us to put on the table. But yes, we have one constitution and two rejected drafts. 1997 is the law as far as the Gambia is concerned. 2020 was rejected by the National Assembly. This, of course, at the time was led by the faction of the NPP government. So yes, that was rejected. It was a coalition government, but at the time, obviously, the coalition government was fragmented enough for it to be called the government of the NPP. So yes, it was rejected, and the 2024 was of course 2020 was something that was drafted by the Constitutional Review Commission that was set up in 2017 by the incoming or the new coalition government in the Gambia. At the National Assembly, it was rejected for several reasons. One, there were some clauses in the 2020 draft that the president saw as directed personally at him. Like, for example, the idea that the constitution was to commence, the term of the president was commenced in 2017 instead of when the constitution was ratified by the Gambian people at a referendum. So obviously that was one of the biggest issues that was responsible for the sinking of the 2020 draft. So it's not the only reason, but it was one of the main reasons. Yes. So the 2024 actually people did not go into the substance of either constitution. You know, whether it is the 2020 or the 2024, a lot of people didn't go into the substance of those documents. So obviously, you either support it following your political faction within the setup of the Gambia, or you oppose it again for the situation. But this age you go.
Yeah, sorry. We are.
In this case, sorry, what's supposed to some people were calling me directly. So yes, I would urge you to really invite the political leaders to your platform so that you can grill them about the reasons why they support or did not support a particular version of the Constitution, because that is very important. That is very important. You cannot say that you want to lead the country, but then you don't take time to read national documents that are going to be heavily reliant upon in managing the affairs of the Gambia. And that was what I believe. People would just either support or reject without advancing good reasons for their petitions. I believe that is really disappointing. You need to come and tell the people why you are rejecting a particular version of the Constitution. Yeah. The 1997 itself was not, its fault was that it was tinkered by the then administration in the country. But, there are certain things that were very positive. Say, for example, Chapter 4, the fundamental freedoms. It was just the division of power between the National Assembly, between the National Assembly, the executive, and the judiciary that was very heavily tilted in favor of the executive arm of government. But otherwise, we could have done business with it. But say, for example, if you come to the 2020, because that is where the rejections start, true, they said there were consultations. Really, I understand that argument. But me, as a constitutional scholar, as a historian, as a lawyer, I wouldn't say it was necessary to set up a constitutional review commission that would then go throughout the country and the diaspora to consult people on their thoughts. Yes, this constitution, the language of the constitution is English, and a lot of our people, especially the ones who are consulting in the communities, don't speak English. They don't understand the concept of a constitution. So how they could effectively participate in that process is something I'm struggling to understand. But if they say that was what happened, I accept that was what happened. I accept that was something that was agreed upon. But if you ask me, I would say that was not necessary to getting a first-class constitution.
Okay. Before you move on before we move on, that is the area that perhaps we want to lament a little bit. Now, you mentioned this in this platform, yeah, for the National Assembly. I remember some even mentioning this, for the Constitution to be read in GRTS, like session by session, to have a program, done in local languages, the major local languages, for this Constitution to be read to Gambian people. Now, the problem here is that I don't know who actually came up with this idea to go around the world, spend those thousands of dollars. They came to New York here. I host them here at my community center, the Gambian Youth Community Center. We did one here. Gambian came over there, and then these lawyers were there, and then we were going back and forth. Put this there, put that there. Gambians shouldn't vote. If you have dual citizenship and all these things that are not even common sense, doesn't make common sense. But all what I want to say here is that should have been something that eluded a long time, and people have made suggestions about that. So if it has not been communicated, nothing other than English, that is not the fault of anybody, but the people, especially people in power, because they oversees everything that goes along. I mean, even though they are not, it's not under them, their jurisdiction directly, but they should have, bring those ideas on board. But again, if Gambian people don't understand that part, because it's not under, not everybody understand English, then I think I don't know who to be blamed by that.
Well, even if you are literate in English, even if you have a PhD in organizational leadership
Like
like
me,
yourself,
yes.
obviously, if you are not interested in political matters, you wouldn't be able to understand the purpose of the Constitution, because that is very, very important. You know, the country where you are right now, in the United States of America, obviously, you've seen the size of their Constitution. You know, it's about the size of the U.S. Constitution. The U.S. Constitution can go into the Gambian Constitution
Multiple times. Multiple times, yeah.
More than 20 to 50, 30 times. And that democracy, I lived there, I studied there. It is one of the thriving democracies in the world, regardless of what is happening today. That is a function of politics. But in fact, it was because of the size not able that he wanted to do. So if you have a talkative constitution like the 1997 constitution, the 2020 draft, or the 2024 draft, that would create a lot of room for any president to wreak havoc on your country, because you know that with each other. So the president will just go with the section of the same document that favors him and ignore the others. Like the former wants to fire a provision that says the president can do it for good reason. There is another provision that says the president can go to the National Assembly and start the process from there. Obviously, you know where he will start. He will not start at the National Assembly. He will start at the State House, issue an executive writ, and then say that a particular judge is fired from the judiciary. Those kinds of powers must not be available to president. So the first thing you do is look for the balance of power within the document. Is the document properly balanced? That is what you have to look at between the three arms of government: the executive, the National Assembly, and the judiciary. So if you are happy with that balance, then you come to the relationship between the government as a whole and the people. That is where the fundamental freedoms come in. Yeah, that is where the fundamental freedoms come in. So there, you have to ensure that government, with all its power, it cannot do certain things. These are what you call in the U.S. Constitution the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. Those are amendments that were meant to curtail public power and ensure that the government is not an all-powerful organization that can do whatever it wants. But obviously, when the when the drafters came back, the document went to the National Assembly. Another of the problems with the 2020 draft was because people were insisting that the National Assembly cannot do anything with the draft. It has to accept it as was presented to them by the Constitutional Review Commission. That is madness. You cannot do that. The National Assembly is the lawmaker. And if you look at the standing orders of the National Assembly also allow for the National Assembly to do the requisite amendments as the bill, before it becomes law, as the bill makes its way through the National Assembly. Now, the National Assembly was denied that opportunity. So it was a package. You either take it or you leave it. I believe that was a big error. That shouldn't happen. We can come to, if you have questions, we can come to some of the specific sections. Say, for example, on citizenship, which was very important to me myself, and it was one of the main reasons that I wrote against the ratification of the 2020 draft. People would say, no, you should have supported it and allow it to go through, and then amendments can happen later. You cannot put that one through because an amendment in the National Assembly is unlikely to succeed. So you have to block it from becoming law in the first place. I'll tell you this section, there's a section on the citizenship which says that anybody who was found in Gambian territory, anybody below 8 years old, from 8 years down, found in Gambian territory, and you don't know where the parents are, you don't know who is caring for the person, should be given automatic citizenship. The Gambia is a very, very small country, surrounded by larger neighbors who, for whatever reason, because if you have to migrate to a small country like the Gambia, somebody from Sierra Leone, somebody from Guinea-Bissau, if you have to migrate to a small country like the Gambia to make a living, then something is drastically wrong with your home countries. And this is the lawlessness that is affecting us. But forget about the lawlessness and all of those things. Now, if you say children in that situation from 8 years down should be offered automatic citizenship, think about what we'll do to the demographic dynamics of this country 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Yes, the country is planting the seeds of its own destruction by that kind of silly provision in the Constitution. So it was one of the main reasons that I rejected it. Yes, I know you guys are from the Gambia, you went through the processes, and then you became US citizens. But there are Gambians who are still, who are in the US 40, 50 years today, and they are not citizens because they did not comply with the procedures necessary for them to become citizens. They tried, probably failed, some didn't try, but the US was not just going to take its citizenship and give it to them on a silver platter. Now here you are, people are suggesting this is what we should do. And we know the conflicts, and we can bring out a practical example. Say the UDP would say in the past elections, at least the past two elections, the past election, especially the 2021, that people were allowed to vote, were registered, who were not Gambian citizens. We are complaining about that. So the UDP support a constitution that gives blanket citizenship to people who 20 years down the line would become your fiercest opponents. And then think about this, it didn't make sense. So I disagreed with several provisions of the 2020 draft, and I opposed it openly. Yes, I opposed it openly. I expressed my views in writing. Yeah.
Okay. So I would definitely allow my co-host to come in, but are you blankly opposing 2020 constitution without also giving recommendations as to how we can go? Wood was also really is still pondering in people's mind, because as a counsel Darbo, a lawyer, seasoned lawyer, because I've watched your arguments on that. What would you have brought into on the table at that time, since you're having problem with the citizenship, which is one item, but several other items, and you haven't, because I've watched you haven't also family made your stand on the retroactive portion of it. So some people could say, we don't know where Council Darbo belongs, because the consistency of Council Darbo is really unpredictable. So this is something that I would like you to maybe lament on, if you could.
No, for me, really, it's about the Gambia. I'm not uh, in politics. Yeah, I see the Gambia. For me, that is more important than doing everything your party wants to do. No, I don't do that. I did say opportunity. Discuss it within the National Assembly as to the way forward. I can just make those recommendations. Say, for example, on the emoluments for judges. I mean, I said, I'm a lawyer, so I know the implications of that. You appearing before judges and you are saying they should not be excluded. They should not be given special consideration because the country is bigger than them. But that was what I said. I said there should be comprehensive pension reform so that everybody can have something to live on. Say, for example, $1,000, the judge will have $100,000 every month. A Gambian who worked the entirety of his life as a member of the public service and who was earning maybe 15,000, 20,000, that is, of course, a good salary in Gambian terms as far as the public sphere is concerned, should go home and receive a pension of maybe $1,000. Less than that, maybe. Some people receive $700 in pensions. I mean, really, you cannot even begin to think about the anomaly of a situation like that. Yes, some people are receiving whatever equivalent to people who are right now serving as judges. Yes, even though they have retired, they are not in the public space anymore, but they are receiving those kinds of salaries. And other people are receiving less than $1,000. $1,000 pension. What is that going to do for anybody? Yeah. So what I said, what my position was, they should allow these debates to go on in the National Assembly, and they should be able to debate those things so that they can come to sensible solutions. Not say this is a package, take it or leave it. But if you don't take it, then it fails. No, I said they should talk about it. That is my position. It has not shifted. I'm not committed to any political party. Let me just make that clear to you. I am committed to the Gambia, and I believe people situated like you, with your high educations and having the opportunity to live in one of the leading democracies in the world, should be committed to a political party. I say you should be committed to the Gambia. That's where I believe people like you, with a choice, you don't have to live, rely on anybody for your living. Working for any government. I believe you should, your first commitment, I commit my life to a political party when my country is sinking. If the country sinks, it sinks on everybody between the earth and the sky. Inside the Gambia, it's not going to discriminate on party, tribe, or religious grounds. It will affect everybody. So I am saying, talk these things through. We've made suggestions. I believe that the presidential term should not be retroactive. You cannot take it to 2017 when the document was not even alive in 2017. You cannot do that. And that was what the Constitutional Review Commission said. They said the president's term starts in 2017. Okay, from 2017 to 2022 would be President Barrow's first term. From 2022 to 2027, even though the election would be in 2026, but the president comes to the office in January of 2027. So you cannot say at the end of 2027 or when 2027 comes, the president should not have the opportunity to run again because he served 2 terms. You cannot do that. We just have to be fair in these things. You cannot do that. That is retroactivity. Yes, allow him to contest. Yeah, in fact, I can tell you, the draft said, the 2020 draft, if you go to the consequential provisions at the end of the document, what it said was that this constitution comes into effect after it was adopted by the Gambian people, approved by the Gambian people at a referendum. So obviously, you cannot say the president cannot run for any term anymore after the 2027. Yes, but that was just a philosophical position I held. If the National Assembly rejects it, then it rejects it. But when it comes to the Constitution, I'm very, very consistent. Like I said, I'm not controlled by any political party. I will not be controlled by any political party. For me, my constituency, my party is the Republic of the Gambia.
Okay. Thank you so much, Council. I'm glad that you clarify your position when it comes to consistency. And then, of course, people like me and Sam and Famara in the diaspora, with the experience, should also follow suit your footsteps. So to see Gambia as a party that we belong to. Thank you. I will allow welcome Famara. I've been out for a while, but welcome back. And then
yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sawaneh and Sam and Ousman Camara, Honorable. How are you all?
Thank you. Ousman wanted to see you, but I guess that would be another conversation. But
absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Camara. Welcome back.
You. Thank you.
I'll let Sam go in, and of course, we can follow suit, Ousman and then Famara, because we have listened to Council Darbo for almost like 40 minutes. So definitely we should be able to decipher some of what he said.
Yep. Is he still on?
He's still on. He's listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. So I just wanted to say I kind of agree with him on where he stands from a constitutional standpoint. I think that the morality of a president serving more than 2 terms is the key here. But yes, it is true. We should not make a constitution make it retroactive. But at the same time, I believe that if we're all fighting for 2 terms, a term limit is something very important to a country. Without a term limit, it's just going to continue to encourage corruption. However, if the 2020 Constitution or draft had passed, even without the retroactive there, I mean, yes, President Barrow being a citizen of the Gambia, he has every right to continue to stand as a president. Now, it will be up to the people that are going to say, well, you've already served 2 terms. Because when he was coming to the office, he came to the office with a promise that he's going to serve 3 years based on the MOU that they had signed, that he's going to serve 3 years. And he turned around and said, well, I am not going to serve 3 years. I'm going to serve the mandate. And the moment you say the mandate, which is 5 years, now that's constitution. Because Constitution says the president serves 5-year terms, right? So if he serves the 5 years, in my opinion, he serves the first mandate. Even though, like I said, by law, you can't stop him from running for office. He can still run. But in people's mind, he already served a mandate of 5 years and then turned around and went into elections and won, and he's serving his second mandate, which is another 5 years. Morality tells me that that's enough. We don't want anybody to run for more than 10 years now. We've had enough of that, from President Jawara to Jammeh. Now Barrow should stop at 10 years. Like I said, I know that legally nobody can stop him. He has the right to run, but it's up to the Gambian people to vote for him again in the office, or give chance to somebody and say enough is enough. 2 terms is enough. So what do you think about that?
I think your position is absolutely accurate. I cannot argue with it. I believe the only reason why a country like the United States is where it is today is because of these breaks on, permanent presidencies. So I agree with you entirely. I do.
Okay. So if you agree with him, okay, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
No, I said good. I'm glad he agrees with that too. Yeah, so that's the way I look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you have any other things, Sam, within that constitution that you would like to ask Council Darbo, within the constitution, things that might favor the government, like for instance, asset declaration is one of it, and then also the fact that to appoint government officials like ministers and so forth to be destined by the National Assembly to be confirmed, and areas of that. Do you have any other thing to ask the council before I come to
what I want to say is I'm happy that the 2024 draft is rejected.
Why?
More than the 2020 being rejected.
Why are you happy?
Well, why am I happy with that? There's a variety of reasons, and one of those reasons one reason that I mentioned in my audios that I released this morning is that how come with the asset declaration, how come a person going into the office can declare their assets, but when they're leaving, we say, no, nobody check them, don't go after them, don't look after anything, and they don't have to declare anything. I mean, what kind of law is that? I mean, that means free for all. They can get into the office and saying, I have $20,000 worth of assets, but when they leave, once they get to the office for the 2 terms of the president, I mean, they can embezzle millions and millions and build mansions and own all kinds of things. And when they leave, nobody's going to ask a question. What kind of law is that?
Yeah. So that is one. And then that looks like a cover up for whoever is making that law.
Exactly.
It's a cover
Just
up.
that alone will make me say, no, that should not pass.
Is there any other one? Is there any other? Because council will answer them from his own perspective.
Yeah, no, let me allow others to come in, and then I will think about other things. There are too many in there.
Okay. Yeah, council, can you help us with that?
Yes, about the asset declaration. Say, for example, after a president or a cabinet minister is out of office, well, I agree with that, but I'm saying it's not necessarily something that should be in the Constitution. Not necessarily. If you have a serious government, yes, we all know what is happening today. Yes, and Sam's reservations are correct. But look, we are watching these things as we live today in 2026, 2025 in this country. Yes, we are seeing people who are paid not more than 30,000 and 40,000. In fact, in government, 40,000 is a lot of money. So only the real elite, as far as appointment is concerned, permanent secretaries take home pay, I think is about 12,500. So you add the allowances and the travels and all of that. But we can check all of those. So even today, we have those provisions in the Constitution. If we are serious and we want an open front and honest public service, we can still achieve those things without them being part of the Constitution. They are not constitutional provisions, obviously. But if you want to make them constitutional provisions, by all means, nothing should stop us from doing that. But we know if you are living beyond your means, your wages, 50,000, your expenditure monthly, $500,000. We can go after you. Yes, the anti-corruption legislation, if it is properly implemented, can cater for things like that. Yes. Yeah, if we are serious, definitely, as a rule of law country, people talk about rule of law, they don't understand what rule of law means. If you know what rule of law means, you know it also includes living beyond your means as a public servant. You are paid $500 for $50,000. You are living beyond $200,000 monthly. Yeah, well, something is wrong somewhere. Yes, something is really wrong somewhere. So it's simple legislation without a constitutional mandate saying, tell us where this excess money came from. Simple and straightforward. Yeah. It's not a constitution. It's a framework document. It's a framework. Yeah. Just look at your less than 30 pages of the U.S. Constitution. Less than 30 pages. And look at there is a framework there.
Okay, you keep cancel. You keep bringing U.S. Constitution booklet, and then the Gambian Constitution being 10 times bigger. But this is what happened. The mindset, and then you have to look at the structure. Two different countries, two different mindset, two different ways of doing things. Our people would quickly jump over or oversight certain things. That's why the constitution become bulky. Okay, if we have a problem with that, maybe we should, as you are in the legal field, maybe we can also give an advice to this body, you and other lawyers, because Gambia has a lot of lawyers. Sometimes I even feel like they are not lawyers, because if we have all this, law folks in the Gambia, somebody should get up and then advocate for these things. If the constitution is bulky, there's a way to to go about, like trimming it down. But now, if you're saying that it shouldn't be there, more people will oversight it, and in the implementation area that you're talking about, nobody is doing it. Even the executive, they are the one who are covering up, even instead of implementing. So our issue is implementation. But that's the reason why, when it's in constitution, somebody can sue, somebody can go to the court and say, this is what's supposed to be done. Mr. X is not declaring the asset when they live in the office. Let's go after him. So this is an ammunition for Gambian people. That's why the situation is like that. Just want to add that there. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I differ from you philosophically, but yes, it makes sense.
Okay, very good. Let's come to Famara. Famara, Ousman is there before I jump. Ousman.
It's okay. Farmer can take care. It's okay. It's okay.
Usman want to skip. Okay, no problem. Perhaps is engaged in something. So Famara, you can come.
Osman, you can come.
No, please proceed, please, Famara.
Oh, thank you so much. Good afternoon here, Council Darbo. My name is Famara Drammeh. I'm from Brufut. I'm one of the co-panelists as well, and also an executive member of the Combo Yurua Kafo. We want to thank you so much for everything you are doing, not just only for Combo and the Gambia, but right now everybody is relying on you, and I'm sure your table is so full in terms of representing Gambians at any level, at the court level. So we're very proud of you, and then keep it up. And just like you said, you are not committed to any political party, and I think that's the best thing to do. And likewise, myself, I'm not committed to any political party. What I see is the interest of Combo and the interest of Gambia. And I think once you have that commitment, you are free to talk and express your opinion anywhere. So we want to thank you so much for everything you are doing. Now, coming to the Constitution, like you highlighted in in your deliberation. I think the two-term limits or the retroactive clause is the main reason why the 2020 constitution failed. And then bringing it back, the government did not also follow the due process, by not consulting the people adequately before they bring the 2024 constitution. And I wanted to ask now, did the consultant or the constitutional review committee, did they actually follow what people told them about this 2 year or two-term limit in the constitution, or maybe something, maybe if they remove it out, probably they could be challenged at the validation stage that we told you this, but it never happened. So I just wanted to know whether the constitutional experts or the review committee was relying on what the public opinion was in terms of how long the president should serve in the 2 year, or what should be in the new constitution. That's what I wanted to ask about first. What is your perspective on that? Were they right to include it there, or is it, if they did not include, would they actually betray the opinion of the public since it went into consultative process both within the country and outside the country?
Well, I believe the two-term limit is something that I can live with, definitely. But let us look at it practically. Say, for example, we say, oh, now maybe the president and his people would come up with something else. But say we agree. Would this 2026 not be the last term of Barrow? Yes, he would not be able to run next year, 2026. So we argue over small things. We look at the trees and forget the forest. Yeah, Barrow, with all his problems, should have been allowed to contest. It is a contest. I know it is an unfair contest, obviously. Our governments are very reckless when it comes to playing fair with the Republic of the Gambia, not with the Gambian people, but with the country itself. They're very, very reckless about it. Yes, this is not a personal contest. We've seen Sawaneh. He was in office, continuously for 33 years. At the end of the day, what did it benefit him? Nothing. President Darbo was in power for 22 years. Today, if you ask him, he wouldn't even believe he served 5 years in power. So if we had accepted, okay, now let us start the constitution from its normal start, when it is ratified by the people, and give the president the opportunity to do the right thing by himself, to stop at the end of 2025, or go for another term. Really, that is a painful undertaking. He can go for another term of 5 next year. Whether he dies or likes it or not, he will be out of office next year. He cannot tinker with the constitution to a level where he would be allowed. Unless, of course, people who are willing to come out in their numbers and ensure that what they want is what happens. That is, they say, well, we don't care what you do. You will not run in 2026. Or the country would not be governable. You wouldn't be able to govern the country. I think he would see the writing on the wall and he would leave. But I believe that whatever happens, whether retroactive or not, next year, Barrow would not have been able to run. Because that is a prospect which is not very inviting at all. Another 5 years to end in 2031. I believe that is really, a very, very hurtful, painful situation. Yes, the country administratively is not going anywhere. Little things. You will hustle one office to the other is because we are not able to, institute a governance system that responds to the needs of the people. So I understand very well when people say, I understand very well when people say no more than 2 terms, and I agree with it. So, it's just the way things are done. Procedure is very important. I mean, say if I slap you, you kill me. You've taken your right away. A slap should not be responded to by murder. You shouldn't be able to do that. Yeah. So I believe that we should not allow our presidents to go beyond 2 terms. If you have no life after the presidency, then that is for you to think about. Yes. Yeah. We will not be able to keep you in the
Council, before I ask Famara if he has anything on Sam, I think you have answered. I mean, you've already said the way forward here. That means the way forward, and this is what the Gambian people, including yourself, want. That at the end of the 2026, which is the 2 term they serve, either we have constitution or not, but or not to run. I think that would lay everything to rest. Now, whether that's going to happen or not, that remains to be seen. If we live long enough to see that, But the question,
what I was saying, what I was saying was that if we had accepted the 2020, if we had said, okay, let us do an amendment of the National Assembly instead of retroactivity, we allow the president to go ahead. That amendment can take place at the National Assembly. But I said, even if that was what happened, he would not have been able to run in 2026 because he already served 3 terms. He wouldn't be able to run. He cannot say, I'm running. He served 2017 to 2021. So we made that retroactive. If that was 2017, if he argues that was retroactive, and so they are not supporting it because of that reason, then, for example, it can go to, he can run in 2026, but that would be the end of it. But I wouldn't want to say that. I wouldn't want to say that. I would rather, it's 10 years. Nobody owns these things. These are, this is a project. Governance is a project for the country and the people. It's not for the president. Why do you want to serve more than 2 terms? I don't even understand it myself. But of course, people's minds work differently. Yeah.
So now, what is the way forward? Because now it looks like Gambian people are confused. The constitution is rejected, and now what is the way forward? For all wrong and reason, 2 constitutions being rejected. What do you think is the way forward now? How do we get ourselves out of this hole?
Well, if you ask me, this is a simple process between now and December. So we have 2 rejected drafts. We have the 1997 Constitution. Is this Gambia bereft of authority, of competence and ability to the level that we cannot solve this problem? We have 3 documents. Yes, we go through those documents. There are similarities there. There are differences there. But we look at the differences and see whether we can work on those differences. We can put on the table a constitution that is half the size of all of the 1997 and the 2 drafts. The 2024. We can put a document together that is half the size of all of this Gambia, at least a constitution that we can be proud of, that can take us for at least the next 50 years without needing a major amendment. We don't have to. That is what we can do now. Yes, but of course, this is Gambia is a very personalized country. If I don't like Sam, what would I do? Whatever Sam is involved in, I wouldn't even look at it. I'll just toss it overboard and say, Sam is go.
So,
Yeah, which is not true. If I know that Sam is good, I think we can get a wonderful constitution within these 6 months, between now and December. We can go to a referendum and then go to an election. If they say they don't have money, that's a lie. I have to say as it is. It's a lie. They have to stop these baseless travels all over the world, man. Yeah. They have to stop it. Yes, some of these things in this global electronic age, you can necessary travels by through the internet. You don't need to leave your country. Why are you wasting all this money, on nothing but traveling for useless meetings across the world? In fact, the international community would assist us. If you ask me, I would say I don't want a sovereign country to rely on the international community for everything. If you need to change your laptop battery, you say, let's go to the UNDP in the Gambia. Let's go to the European Union in the Gambia. Let's go to the USID in the Gambia. I think that is an insult for a sovereign country. You save your money, do what you have to do, and then you can run your country as a sovereign people. We can do it. All we have to do is stop this wastage of public funds. Yeah. And you start with the travel. The travel is killing us.
Yeah. So Council, I would like my co-panelists to come in and then see what they have before we wrap it up. But just to let you know, we probably will have you for two more things that I think I had in mind, which is the diaspora voting and perhaps the diaspora voting and dual citizenship to holding high offices in the Gambia. If that's something that you will be welcome to discuss, we can schedule ahead a couple of weeks ahead and then get you back on that. Since you have diaspora, I mean, you have experience as someone who traveled and who was in diaspora before. So I will just ask that if you
yes,
something.
Those are very important topics. I don't think we should be discussing any of those, really. Again, if we are serious people, diaspora is contributing so much money. Now, if you govern properly, the diaspora will support you. If you govern wrongly, well, there is a segment of the diaspora that will not support you. A segment that lives in the United States, in the European Union, in Canada, and other democratic spaces in the world. They wouldn't support you if you govern wrongly, so they will vote for you. Okay. There are others who will support you blindly. They will vote for you. When we talk about the diaspora, it's not only the US, the European Union or Canada and other countries. It also includes Senegal, Mali, and all those places.
Right, and also,
yeah.
But
if you come to the dual nationality, we can talk about it obviously, because I actually took that matter to the Supreme Court in 2018.
Okay.
I was offered the Ministry of Interior in 2017, December 2017, but I told the president's people who came to me that I couldn't serve in the cabinet because I'm a British national. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so
renounce
that's
my citizenship if I run for the presidency, but I will not renounce it for the cabinet, because the cabinet, the president can tomorrow. So I'm going to renounce my citizenship for that. Yeah. So I would want Gambians to serve in the cabinet and the National Assembly, even if they have the nationalities of other countries.
okay.
But
So
we can talk about it.
another time. Yeah. So, but definitely moving forward with the constitution. You think there will be can be another constitution before December, to the fact that we can get perhaps
Yes,
agree on
before
something.
December. Yeah, I believe so. Call the political leaders.
Okay.
I don't want any preference to political leaders. Call them. You are stakeholders. Call them and grill them. Yes, about why they supported 2020 and rejected 2024. 2024, we have to go to the substance of these documents. There was a procedural error. The president and his people, they know that themselves because they've admitted it. You cannot go behind the scenes, behind closed doors, and then do these things without consulting other stakeholders. That was wrong. Everybody told them that was wrong, and they know it was wrong themselves.
All right. So we will do that. We will do that. We'll engage the political parties and see if we can get the constitution before December. I would like Sam and Sam comes and then Famara to wrap it up. Yeah, if they have anything, and yeah.
No, Council Darbo, thank you so much. I just want to say thank you. And Mr. Sawaneh has just brought up some of the things that I wanted to say, but we will save that for another day, which is the dual citizenship and diaspora voting and all of that, and some of the good things. Some of the good things in both constitutions, and what are the good things, what are the bad things. That I know, like you said, it's a huge document. Nobody can go through all of it, but if we can just pick the good and the bad and look at
we're here. We can hear you. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. If we can pick the good and the bad.
Somebody just called me through a normal call.
Okay, but we can hear you. Yeah, Sam is just talking.
Okay. Yeah, I am going to make it short. I know it's about time. We got to an hour already on the thing, but wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about this current situation about a constitution. But thank you so much. We really appreciate you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again on this stage, so we can talk about dual citizenship, diaspora voting, and some other good things that are in both constitutions. And what are some of the things that you recommend that we need to drop out? But like you said, I totally agree with you, and I have said that before, that a new draft 2024 should not have been done without the stakeholders. I've said that before in my some of my audios too. So you're absolutely right. I totally agree with you on that as well. So, but anyway, I'm gonna leave it here, and like I said, I'm gonna look forward to seeing you again. I think we will have a great time here. Our audience will really enjoy you being on this stage to really dissect and go into more details about certain things and what your recommendations are as well. So thank you so much. I'll pass it on.
Thank you very much, Sam.
Thank you. Famara, thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Council. My final word is going to be a short question. If President Barrow will invite you to State House today, what would be your advice to him, considering the fact that all what happened, because he came to power in 2016 to embark on a lot of reforms, and the constitutional reform is one of those big components of the change we made in 2016. And what would you advise him in terms of protecting his legacy, and then also ensuring that when he leaves office, and ensuring that the Gambia that we yearned for in 2016 happens without him compromising his legacy for the past 8 years or 10 years, 2 years to come. So what will be your advice to President Barrow if you will have one-to-one with him and give him an advice as a concerned citizen, and of course as a lawyer as well? So
well, it's simple. The president and his advisors are always talking about his legacy. And I've already communicated to the president through the public space that his legacy will not be the monuments of sand and stone. In other words, will not be the monuments of sand and stone. In other words, not the big buildings, not the roads. The monument, the legacy that the president wants is clear. The legacy of the rule of law. Yeah, governance under law. That is the only legacy that he should be concerned about. Not I build these roads, those are not your monies. Not I build these buildings, those are not your monies. Those monies belong to the Gambian people. If we remember the president, I want him to be remembered for his achievements, going to the rule of law, to governance, real, good governance. Yeah. Just imagine if there is no good governance in the US today. Just imagine the political dispensation that is in control of that country. If there are no good laws, even America's good laws have been tested. But if there are no laws, even naturalized citizens or people who were born there and became citizens and lived there would be victimized because of their perceived identities, the way they look, their ethnicity, their cultural backgrounds. But no, the legal fabric of the United States will not allow that to happen. Yes, there will be periods of tension, of disagreement between the branches of government. The population would be confused from time to time. But at the end of the day, the biggest monument of the US, as far as I am concerned, is its adherence to the rule of law. That's it. That's what I advise the president. There has to be an end to the presidency. And do manage your presidency on the law, on the proper governance, and stop telling us about the roads and the buildings that you don't own. The country owns those. So that is it. My advice would be that. And of course, people will tell him, we told you, why did you invite Mr. Darbo here? But like I said, I am for the Gambia. That's all I am for. The Gambia. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
But I thank God. I thank God I'm able to feed myself. Otherwise, I'll be back in the UK. I know. Yeah. All these infighting that you see in government, sometimes even from highly accomplished individuals who live in the diaspora, are US citizens, are British citizens. It's not about principle or anything. It's about how they can get their share, as they see it, of public money. If there is a rule of law, they don't have to worry about that because their share will be everybody's share. Good schools, good health facilities, not going and being given $100,000 is you don't know where it came from, you refuse to ask where it came from. Yeah. So rule of law, for me, governance, if the president is willing to do that, that's it. Now, even today, it's not late to, it's not late to correct courts.
I think Council Darbo, I think you have really said it. And this last piece, I think this is what should get into the heads of our intellectuals. You need to know how to feed yourself. You need to know, especially if you have studied highly and you have traveled, public share shouldn't be personal share. This is what need to sink. Yeah, this is what need to sink. And say that loud and louder. Yeah, because people like you are what we need to show as an example. And from today, that will be one of my examples because it frustrates me. Like you see a government as a source of revenue instead of, you know, using the government revenue for everybody to own the benefit. And it's disappointing. Really, it breaks my heart when I see intellectual people are calling themselves doctors. They are calling themselves pens of the Gambia, all kind of names. Instead of operating your own business or doing other things like Council Darbo is doing, living comfortably on your own sweat, they using the ammunition through their lies and all of that. So this is what we need to call a spade a spade. This is our problem. Yeah, of course, you know, the fact that illiteracy is a problem for us and on awareness, you can blame it on all of that. But our key problem is our intellectuals, so-called intellectuals who are out there knowing the deal already, but they are using these tactics, you know, they're jeopardizing our country. So I thank you for bringing that up, and this is the message of the day or the message of the century. Thank you. Your final words.
Well, thank you very much. You inspired me immensely. I wanted to write a major article on the way forward out of this constitutional issue. Now that you asked me, yes, I'll find time to do that, maybe within the next 2 weeks, so that we can deal. We know that we cannot say, okay, we have to wait until the new government comes to office in 2027. We don't have to wait for that. We can do this before December. It can be done. The framework is there. Like Khalifa Saleh said, if the lawmaker says he cannot make law, then that is a sorry state of affairs for the Gambia. You know, the lawmaker should be able to make law. And we can do it between now and December if the political will is there.
Yeah. Thank you. And then what if you need our support, myself, Sam, and then Famara are here in US, any support we need, we are citizens and we are very much concerned, again, to get a constitution before the end of the next president, before the next president can swear in. And we've also promised that we're going to be inviting stakeholders, political stakeholders in this state, to make sure, for the sake of Gambia, for our unborn children, for the future, we got a working document we can call a constitution. So if you need our support, our collaboration, I can share this gentleman's information with you. Trust me, to be in the base. Be in touch with us. You guys have the legal framework background. You have the legal knowledge, But again, there are other things that we can also put on the table in terms of getting this thing across.
I'm grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Famara.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you all. Famara, good seeing you again, and welcome back to the States.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Good to see you too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Council Darbo. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
All righty.
Thank you, Famara.
Thank you, Council Darbo.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Famara. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Council. So we'll talk later. Yeah, I'll share their information, the gentleman's information with you. Take care. All right. Famara, good to see you. We'll catch up later.